T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're listening to The Twisted 10, bringing you original and unique, host-created top 10 lists, recorded live in world-famous Cocoa Beach, Florida, with hosts Tach Van Sickle and Adam Poston.
All right, and welcome to the Twisted 10, and I am your host, Tach, and sitting across from me is...
Hey, I'm Adam. How are you guys doing tonight? Of course, for us, it's tonight. For them, it could be the middle of the day. They could be listening to this at church, whatever.
And welcome to the Twisted 10. This is the show where we basically come up with a unique top 10 list and just break it down. And we come up with different topics every episode.
And it's always a surprise to the other host. So tonight's is Tax. He's going to have the top 10 list, and I have no clue what it is. We sometimes drop teasers from the last week's episode into the next upcoming week. So,
and the teaser I dropped last week for you was, if you remember...
No, I don't.
It was... Oh, Marty!
Yeah, I do. Doc Brown. Yes, I remember that.
Okay, so this one is the top 10 twisted science experiments.
Top 10 twisted science experiments. Like real life science experiments or movie? Because Doc Brown kind of...
Well, he was a mad scientist kind of a thing.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I thought of. Now, there's a twist.
Okay.
In this list is hidden a false one that I made up.
Oh, shit. I'm pretty good with science. I consider myself some science. My hobbies include neuroscience and studying how the brain chemistry works, and also astrophysics and astronomy. Those are my hobbies.
I got you. But how are you on fringe science? So
other than watching the show Fringe, not really. I mean, they tie a lot of theoretical physics into Fringe, the show, but no. All right. So hit me.
Are we ready to start this off?
Yeah.
Everything going okay for you this week?
Yeah, dude, I'm doing fine.
Anything exciting happen this week?
So on our other podcast, on Living Podcariously, we had some interesting guests in.
We did.
Yes, that was quite fun of a recording session.
It was different, and what Adam's talking about is we have a Living Podcariously. It's our men's perspective podcast where we talk about sex, relationships, what have you.
A little bit raw occasionally. It's unfiltered.
Yeah.
So you're going to get men's perspectives from every stretch of the imagination.
Right.
And the girls that came on our show filled in the questions for our segment called The Guyry. So think of a woman's diary, but the guy's version, The Guyry. And that got kind of raw. So that was, yes, that's sitting in the back of my mind right now. Just so the listeners know, we often record first Living Podcariously, then the Twisted 10 in the same night, so it's fresh on our minds.
Yeah. Normally the Guyry segments are about 10 to 15 minutes, but this one ran on. That segment was probably a good 45
yeah,
minutes.
easily.
But it was good. And we had 3 girls in studio to hang out with us, and that was a good time.
Nobody's ever going to believe us. We have to put pictures up. Oh, we didn't get pictures with them.
Oh, that sucks.
It could have been us just doing voices then. No, it wasn't really. We really did have girls in studio.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
Okay, so you ready to hear about some twisted science experiments?
All right, top 10 twisted science experiments.
Now, this is in no particular order.
And one of them is fake, made up by Tach.
One of them is a fake one that I made up.
All right.
And you, Adam, have to figure out which one at the end, and you guys playing at home can come up with your own thing, and I won't reveal it till the very end. Okay, so the first one...
Fake. Oh, no, that's not when I'm supposed to do it yet? Okay.
No. Okay, the first one is gay aversion therapy. Okay?
Is this something like Parade the Gay Away? Is it you've heard
Kinda.
that? All right.
Well, it's in the 1940s, homosexuality was considered a mental disorder until it was proven otherwise in 1973.
Wow, it took them 33 years to figure that out?
Yeah, well, longer than that, really, because, homosexuality has been around forever.
It's always been a sin in some religion's eyes.
Right. And early aversion techniques were used, such as showing slides with random gay porn and inducing shocks to the patient, sometimes to their genitals.
Electroshock therapy for looking at gay porn.
So think of like Ludovico Technique from what movie?
1970. No.
It's not. Don't worry about the year. Just the movie.
Oh.
This isn't taken from the movie, but
Is that the movie where they were holding the guy's eyes open?
yeah, Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange.
and
Yeah,
that's called Ludovico technique. That's what they called it in the movie, anyway.
Ludovico. Ludovico. Okay.
Technique. Yeah, I don't know if that's a real thing. That's what they called it in the movie. I don't know if it's a real thing. I don't know.
You know, when you start a new job and you have to sit through those safety videos and all that sexual harassment, that's what it feels like to me. But
I kind of like this because the acting is horrible and it's awesome. I was actually watching one the other day on, it was just about, like terrorism and shit, you know? Like,
anti-terrorism stuff?
Yeah. And there was just like these two guys, like, they were just, oh God, it's like, because I work security at pretty popular like aeronautical company, you know. So, and then there was like this video of this guy who was standing post as a security officer, and this other guy walking up going, "Hey, so is this what you do all day? You just stand here?" And he's like, "Yeah, sometimes I do." You know, it was horrible acting, and it was like these scenarios were just ridiculous, and it was hilarious. I loved it, but. Anyway, so gay version therapy, number one. Okay. Number two, Chinese.
Stop it. Sorry, go ahead. That was insensitive.
Chinese POWs. During World War II, Chinese militants tested on Japanese prisoners to see if knife wounds or gunshot wounds would bleed out faster. Not only tests conducted on which weapon, but also testers would also test on size, height, age, as well as gender and sexual orientation.
So this is the Chinese testing on the Japanese prisoners of war.
And the data was ruled inconclusive.
Oh, we cannot figure it out. We need more testing. Inconclusive.
What other categories can we come up?
We're gonna nail all the bad stereotypes here.
That's terrible.
Inconclusive. Sorry.
It's all right. Moving on.
All right. Number
3.
8.
Oh, sorry.
Number 3.
Are we counting down? Yeah, we're counting down.
Counting down. So number 8.
Sorry, 10, 9, 8. Sorry, I had them on here written as 3. Okay. 8. Head transplant. In 1970, Robert White attempted a head transplant between 2 monkeys. The monkey, well, he only took one head from one monkey and the other one died. You know, so just put so there's not 2 monkeys trying to live. So, okay, so. The monkey died after 2 days, but it was able to smell, see, hear, and taste after the transplant.
So, question:
Yes.
When the head of the monkey that came over to the new body did the nervous system work past the? Because everything you just described are all sensory perceptions in the head. Did anything work south of the neck? Essentially,
I didn't see
digestion,
that upon the reading. That's
reflexes.
A good question. I don't know the answer to that. I didn't read too terribly deep into it, but those are good questions. I mean, I got like all the senses there, so I just assumed that everything else worked.
That's interesting because even something as simple as non-voluntary stuff, like, well, of course, I guess the heart had to have been pumping, so that meant the nervous system was working at least.
Yeah.
The lungs were working. That's below the neck as well, so that system had to have been working. So yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm sure the thing wasn't exactly swinging from trees, but for it to at least have survived that long is actually pretty fucking impressive. You know, though, you would. That's an interesting concept. You're not doing a head transplant, really. Because everything is controlled in the brain.
Right.
You're doing a body transplant, if you think about it.
Think about it.
Because the head is the central. I mean, the brain is the central system for the entire body. So the body itself cannot survive with. I guess neither can survive without the other, but. You understand the control system, the computer, so to speak, for the rest of the body is the head. So technically, he took another body and put it on this other monkey's head, and then told that head to control that new body.
That's true.
I mean, I guess it's just semantics, but
no, I mean that's kind of like when people forever are trying to design a flying car, right? And
this is a stretch. I can't wait to hear this.
You ready for this? Okay, people are like, we need a flying car. Where's our flying cars? We need a flying car. And finally somebody said, we don't need a flying car. We need a plane you can drive. And so that's when new concepts started coming into play. So it's kind of the same thing.
All right. We'll go with that, Tach. It's your list, so I'll let you come up with whatever kind of fucking wackadoo
like,
analogy you're going to come up with.
That's what people did, and that's what somebody did, a company did. They made a plane that you can drive on the street. But my question is, if they do a brain transplant, like let's say you and I die, you need a brain transplant, so you get my brain. Does that mean now I'm you? Like, are you still going to be you? But just
you're
with
getting into
brain?
a philosophical debate here,
right? Like,
I mean, we both have very similar understandings of and perceptions on religion,
right.
and on we're very similar. We're not exactly the same, but we're very similar. To me, your cognition of who you are is 100% in your head. It's your brain that's controlling that. So if your head happened to hop onto my body, then it's suddenly you with my body.
Right, like if we did, like what you said, where we did a body transplant, and not a head transplant, but body transplant.
Right.
Okay, and your head was now on my body. Sorry for your luck.
I'm damn sexy.
You are still you. You're still Adam.
Right.
But if you took your brain and transplanted it into me, I'm me?
No, I see the brain.
I'm Adam
the
now.
brain. Well, if it's the full intact brain, all the way down to the spinal
Either way, it's
connection,
both.
the spinal column connection. If your body is just exactly how it is, to include your skull, and somehow my brain fit into your skull, it would be me inside your entire shell. Because my cognition comes with my brain.
So my body would wake up and I'm Adam.
Well, your body would never wake up. I would wake up in Tach's body. That's just how that would work.
Well, I'm just saying this body would wake up and be you.
Correct, yes.
So
you have now taken everything that is Adam, all of those synapses.
took the hard drive, if you will.
No, perfect, yeah. You've taken all of those synapses, all of those functions inside my brain, all of the electrons that fire in my brain that tell my memory how to correspond, that tell, my personality how to work, my prefrontal cortex is everything about me. You've moved that into your body. None of your prefrontal cortex is existing, so none of the personality or traits of Tach Van Sickle is still there. None of it. It's all gone. I am now, or you or we are now Adam in Tach's body. That's all that would end up being. So your body is just the mechanism that the brain controls. All right. So
now, is this proven science yet, or we don't know?
So sort of. There is no such thing in humans as genetic memory. So, for example, have you ever heard about the phantom arms? Or
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So a guy gets an arm transplant and the arm tries to kill him. No, that isn't because the arm remembered it actually came donated from a murderer or something. There's no genetic memory built into the genes of the body parts that you're receiving. That's 100% synapse firing neurons in your head. There is no kind of genetic memory makeup that's inside our DNA. Our DNA doesn't have that. That's scientifically proven. So there's nothing in your body that's going to remember or retain traces of who Tach was. So has it been successfully done? I'm sure it's been tried in some sort of fucking third world country somewhere, but
right.
It's never that I know has been documented and peer reviewed as being successfully accomplished. No, not even in a monkey, other than I guess your perhaps potential fake story.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because it says head transplant, but I really like your idea better. It was really a body transplant.
Technically, yeah, it's really a body transplant.
Yeah. Interesting. Moving on.
All right. Number 7.
Number 7 is David Reimer. Okay. Have you heard of this guy yet?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I don't think so.
He was born in 1965, and he was a Canadian-born man, biologically male, but raised female following medical advice and intervention after his penis was accidentally destroyed during a botched circumcision in infancy.
Ouch.
Yes. So when he was getting circumcised, which I believe we've touched on this topic recently.
Yeah, on Living Vicariously, I think. Or was that on this show?
No, it was oh, you're right. Yeah, it was Living Vicariously.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't even know how this happens, but some fucking quack somewhere was doing a very routine circumcision and accidentally cut the entire penis off and said, let's just raise him as a girl then.
Vashugana, I used my cigar cutter instead. Oops.
It's like, so.
How do you rate?
Well, there's more. It says psychologist John I don't know if it's Moni. It's spelled like money, which that's funny, and I'll tell you in a minute why that's funny. Funny.
Does he have a grandson named Cash Money?
No.
Dollar bills, y'all.
No, but
Cream, get the money.
John Money oversaw the case and reported the reassignment as successful and as evidence that gender identity is primarily learned. This is what he believes.
Huh.
Academic sexologist Milton Diamond.
Money and Diamond.
This is weird. Right. Later reported that Reimer failed to identify as a female since the age of 9 to 11.
Huh. Okay.
And transitioned to living as a male at age 15. Well known in medical circles for years, anonymously as the John Joan case, Reimer later went public with a story to help discourage similar medical practices. He later committed suicide after suffering years of severe depression, financial instability, and a troubled marriage.
Did he marry a woman or did he marry a man?
I assume it's a woman. This was a long time ago, so marriage.
Holy shit.
This wasn't 2015, so if he was married, it was to a woman.
There's so many questions there, man. I don't even know where to begin.
Right.
So, when he cut off, when the doctor...
Ironically, his middle name was Peter. Just wanted to point that out. Sorry, go ahead.
When the doc did the circumcision and botched it and cut off all of his dick, did they make him a vagina at that time?
I think so, yeah. They did the reassignment surgery, so they...
All right.
Yeah, But so they're like, well, now you got a girl. Mazel tov, and then so... You're like, well, you got a girl now, so just raise her as a girl. You should be good. It's all learned behavior anyway, is what this doctors and psychologists was saying. And then by age 9 and 11, this little girl...
Yeah, but you can't stop things unless you do lots and lots of estrogen hormone treatment.
Well, not with
over
a
the
child
course.
yet. It's still too early.
Granted, but as, puberty onsets, you have to replace those testosterone-driven hormones with estrogen to produce... less facial hair, to produce, budding breasts or whatever to
which explains why he went at age 15 to decide to be a boy.
Wow.
So
poor guy.
Yeah, it's
girl
really messed up.
Guy? Don't know.
I don't know how he got married.
And now he's running for president of the United States. No, I'm just kidding.
Number 6.
Number 6, top twisted science experiments.
All
right.
Yeah, top 10 twisted science experiments. Yes.
All right.
Okay. This is the Hoffling Hospital experiment. Okay. In 1966, psychiatrist Charles Hoffling conducted a field experiment on obedience between 22 nurses and doctors. Okay. Try to follow me on here. During an overnight shift, a nurse would receive a call from an unknown doctor claiming to be new to the hospital, and ordered the nurse to give a particular patient a certain medication and a specific dosage. The dosage was a lethal amount. Now, it's against the hospital policy, I'm probably sure with every hospital, that you don't take orders over the phone from anyone. No doctor, it doesn't matter. I don't care if the chief of medicine calls you and says, I need you to do this, you just don't do it.
Okay.
It has to be done face to face. So, this was done on 22 nurses in this hospital, okay? By an overnight nurse, gets a phone call from a doctor they don't know that says, hey, Nurse Jansen.
I'm Dr.
Smith.
Galakowitz or something.
Well, I don't know Dr. Galak. Well, I'm new to the hospital, but you have, Tom Jones, in there as a patient. Yeah.
I get it. The singer. I see what you did there. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone.
I need you to give Tom Jones this medication with this dosage, and you need to do it now. It's important. So, 22 nurses got this phone call.
Okay.
How many do you think gave the lethal dosage? Now, remind you, this was an experiment. It wasn't actual meds. It was actually saline solution they were giving to these patients. They just wanted to see.
So nobody died.
Right. Nobody died. It's just an experiment on obedience, on how much they wanted to test to see how much somebody listens to like a superior.
General incompetency rates would normally place that around 20%. So at a 22, well, the nurses and doctors, I don't know. I'll say 5 of the people who received the phone call. If it's 22, I'll say 5 of these people who received the phone call administered the drug.
Are you ready for this?
General incompetency. Yes.
Out of 22, 21 gave the lethal dosage.
No shit.
No shit.
So one lone soul. Was he just lazy that day?
Lazy, or actually had a conscience and was smart and said, that will kill the patient, sir. Not going to happen. Not on my watch. So
Complacency sometimes takes over in any role. I don't care what you're doing. Complacency takes over. And it just...
Yeah, there could be a lot of things for it. You know, complacency could be, I don't know.
Inferiority.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what they're testing.
Jeez. All right.
It's pretty fucked up. And sorry, I don't know if we want to cuss on here.
Yeah,
I forget.
fuck it.
All right.
I don't care.
So that was the first 5.
Okay.
Right?
Give us a recap.
8,
What were the
7,
titles
6.
of those again?
All right. So recap, we had the gay aversion therapy.
That's right.
We had the Chinese POWs.
Okay.
We had the head transplant, or the way you put it, the body transplant. We had David Reimer, and we had the Hoffling Hospital experiments.
Okay. All right. I think I already got the one I think is
Okay.
flake already. I don't know. I got to hear the next 5.
We're
But
going to hear the next 5 still, but right now we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to continue on, and then we're going to figure this out.
all right. Sounds good.
All right, then. We'll be back.
Check out our new sponsor, Last Drop Vape. They make a premium e-liquid line that is simply fantastic. I vape a lot and use Last Drop Vape's blueberry and strawberry cream. They also have a chocolate that is spot on.
All of Last Drop Vape's premium e-liquids are proudly made in the USA. Their e-juice is bottled in a clean, certified, laboratory using 100% FDA compliant machinery, meeting AEMSA standards and future FDA regulations.
Visit them at lastdropvape.com or on Facebook at facebook.com/lastdropvape.
If you are interested in becoming a distributor, you can contact them at their website under the wholesaler section.
And welcome back to the Twisted 10. We are talking about the top 10 Twisted Science experiments. Just to run back through what we've talked about so far real quickly.
All right.
Is number 10 was gay aversion therapy.
Stop it.
Number 9 was Chinese POWs.
Oh, how are you? Like, no.
Number
Oh,
8.
hi, how are you? No, I can't do Chinese.
Is that French?
Yeah. Sacre bleu.
Number 8 is the head transplant.
Body transplant.
Number 7 is David Reimer.
What was he again?
He was the kid with the botched...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Circumcision turned into a
Yeah.
girl. Yep. Okay.
And number 6 is the Hoffling Hospital experiments.
Okay.
So number 5, here
All
we
right.
go.
Number 5.
Dog head. That's not what you think. It's not what you think. Let me stop you right there.
That's like $20 in downtown Cocoa. I'm just saying. I mean, I've had a couple ex-girlfriends that were a little drunk and
You have to bring
decided
your own. You have to bring your own peanut butter.
Yeah, I think I found our fake one. Oh.
Okay, here we go.
Is that when a snaggletooth bitch goes down on you? Is that what that is?
She has snagglepuss. All right, Russian scientists in 1940 tried to see if he could keep a dog's decapitated head alive by pumping oxygen and blood to the head. The head allegedly remained alive and alert by opening its eyes, sniffing, reacting to a hammer being banged near its face, and eating a treat. But it only lived for 29 days.
Only? What the fuck? Only 29 days?
Now, there was a film released with this experiment, and it is on YouTube. However, there's a lot of skepticism as to the authenticity of this video.
That would be a great album cover for like 9 Inch Nails. Just saying. Think about it. That would be, you know what I mean?
No, it's creepy. It's old black and white shit. It's, yeah. Some say it's just a Soviet propaganda film. Because some people, like, there's all kinds of threads, people talking about this video. And because there's a point where it looks like the dog actually like lifts his head a little bit. You're like, how can he do that if it's
no
just
muscles?
a
Yeah.
head, you know? I mean, it's cut like around like right here. So there's a little bit of a neck, but going into the neck is like all this wiring and shit like that, tubes, and which some say, well, that there's a lot of weight there that would make it to where he probably could do a little bit of neck movement. Some people are saying that there's probably a whole dog there, but he's got this dog in like on the table with the hole cut out of the table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's laying down with his head down. Either way, it's fucked up for the dog. Even if that was a full dog underneath the table, still he's got this dog sedated or something, and it's a pretty sad video.
So no matter if it was propaganda or what, it's still a shitty thing. It's the animal abuse. I mean, it's horrible.
Yeah,
and that's one of the few things that I get like emotional about is seeing animals abused.
I cannot stand animal abuse.
Like whenever any of those commercials, I know this is off topic, but whenever any of the commercials on TV come on, there's two that I don't like. One is the fucking anti-smoking commercials with the women that are the women and the men that are like now horribly, right. devastated from their issues with smoking and tobacco or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just so bad. I want to turn the channel. Number one, out of, pity for the person that's being glamorized on TV for the purpose of this message. But I get it. I understand why they're doing it. Still, I don't want to watch it. That's going to ruin my fucking, Chicky McNuggets or whatever. I don't want to see that at the time that they air them. But the worse than that is the ASPCA ads that are just showing all these, poor animals that are suffering, and they're trying to get your money to help donate to their cause by pulling on your sympathy strings. God, I hate that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we live in a different time. I mean, not to say that this kind of abuse doesn't happen now, but people have, I think cultures all around the world have grown quite a bit to not want to inflict harm on animals. I mean, shit, they used to have, dude, you've seen this. You remember the old circus acts where they would have like a fucking horse jump off a 200-foot diving board and land in like a kiddie
that
pool?
was like in like 1920 or something like that. Yeah.
Yep.
At the World's Fair.
Shit, they even did I heard this on another podcast. I don't remember which one it was. I think it might have been, whatever. I won't name them. But there was a promotion that was done for Niagara Falls.
Mm.
And the whole promotion was they were sending barrels of animals off the side, and it was a bet to see what animals would survive the fall. Well, granted, all of the regular animals died, and the birds flew away as soon as they went over the falls. But yeah, nobody cared. The care or the respect of the life of the animal, which just wasn't there. Not like it is, at least not like it is today.
It's terrible.
So this poor dog, assuming the science experiment is true, they kept this dog's head alive for 29 days. Now, that in itself, as horrible as the situation is, and I'm not, promoting it, is really fucking cool if they were able to successfully keep this dog's head alive for that long. So they figured out what the dog's head needed to stay alive.
Yeah, it was actually a machine that I guess the scientists had invented, and he called it like the auto-ejector, I think is what he called it. And
I have one of those in the bedroom. You can buy it at sex stores in Cape Canaveral. Auto-ejector? What did you say?
Auto-ejector?
Oh, okay. Sorry, wrong tool.
Wrong tool. Wrong German tool. Or no, Soviet tool. That pumped like oxygen, blood, whatever it was. That I don't know all of it. But whatever needed to get to there. Yeah. So yeah,
that's a horrible one, man.
If you want to, there is video on it. If you wanted to look it up. It's kind of sad, I think. Either way, this poor dog went through some bullshit, even if it's fake. It's still
okay.
It's kind of messed up. But
this was the Russians, or was this the Germans?
This is Russians.
Germans would make more sense to me. That's the kind of crazy shit that they pulled. The Auschwitz camps and the science experiments.
Do that, but they would do it with like more of a human, like a Jew or something.
Yeah.
That's terrible. They probably did do some shit like that too. Moving on, number 4.
All right.
It's called Cyborg Beetles.
Yeah.
Okay. Cyborg beetles. UC Berkeley and Singapore's Nanyang Technological University have developed a way to radio control giant flower beetles. They can make them fly, turn right, turn left, and even hover.
This technology is old. I saw it in The Fifth Element. They controlled that cockroach.
Yeah. Sure.
Sorry.
New discoveries in the beetle muscles have aided them to do much more advanced in-flight turning. So now they can turn sharper and stuff like that. Eventually, the technology could be used for military combat and espionage.
A little beetle with an Acme rocket on its back. I can already see where this is going. I can see it.
Okay, let's see here. And we are moving on to number 3.
Number 3 of Tach's top science experiments that are fucked up. All right.
Right. This one is called 21 grams. Have you heard about this one?
I think there was a movie about this.
I know there's a movie called that. I'm not sure what the movie's about. But,
all right.
In early 20th century, Dr. Duncan McDougall of Massachusetts.
All right, I'm going to call that the fake story because Duncan McDougall, come on. Come on. No, I'm just kidding.
Did he work at Hogwarts? Yeah. Sought out to discover the weight of a soul, how much a soul weighed. By weighing a dying person as they're dying and then weighing again after death. He performed this on 6 patients and all with the same results. Basically, a dead person on a table that would weigh them, and once they passed away, he noticed that each of them weighed 21 grams less after death than they did before.
How many grams are in a pound?
I think this is... I think it's 3/4... No.
16 ounces? No.
No, it's 3/4 of an ounce, I think. It's 21 grams.
How many grams are...
I don't even know.
Let me ask my
phone.
phone.
This is too much. Go ahead.
How many grams are in a pound?
How many grams are in a pound?
It's 453.59 grams.
Wow, 453 grams?
Yeah.
Okay, so like a fucking fraction of a pound. So that's what he thinks the human soul weighs?
Human soul weighs.
Did he try this with animals as well?
He actually did try it with animals.
Oh.
Wow, that's surprising. I wasn't even going to bring it up, but he actually did try it with dogs, and there was no difference in weight. So,
how many different people did he do this experiment on?
6 people.
6 people.
Yeah.
Because I've let out some heavy farts in the past, and I'm just...
Well, he thought of that. He was like, because I guess it was looked into saying, that, oh, well, it's like some sort of liquids or gases or something leaving the body, but he swears that there was nothing that had left, and, he swears that this was it. This is what he found, and he believes that to be true, but nobody really knows for sure.
Okay. All right.
Number 2.
Number 2. In
the top 10 twisted, I can't believe I forgot that word, science experiments. This one isn't so much of a science experiment. I just thought this was interesting. The RFID in humans, like those little ID things you can get implanted in dogs.
Radio frequency identified. Yep.
Yeah. Well, like they have them now for people. Okay. Well, I guess they're the same thing, really. And they're implanting them in the hands, just like between your thumb and forefinger or your index finger. They're implanting them in there. Some corporations are already using this on their employees. And it's actually, it helps you like, instead of like, I don't know about your work, but my work, I have to badge in every freaking door I go through.
Right. It's just like a biometric, but like a fingerprint, but a electronic.
Yeah. So now you just get near the door and it just opens,
Huh. Okay.
Or it's also a good way to like, I know you have like a card to get on the computer or stuff like that.
That's how they do the doors in the Star Trek. That's because I always looked for the motion sensors and there are none. And it would only open for some people sometimes. It wouldn't open for everybody all the time. Star Trek had RFIDs in there. Okay, that makes more sense now.
Interesting. But they're talking about doing this like, well, really, it's like a question, like, is this a good idea for people? Because, well, first of all, okay, this chip can also hold all of your medical information, your identity, everything in it. Also, it's good for, like, it also has GPS, so you can always be located.
I don't like that so much.
A lot of people don't. But here's the most controversial thing is the biblical thing. People say that it could be, they quote, mark of the beast. If you ever read Revelations in the Bible.
I've read it, but I don't recall the analogy you're given here.
Well, what it says is like what Revelation says is that the mark of the beast is like once, doomsday comes or the apocalypse, whatever you want to call it, is
Black Fridays.
Second coming of Christ comes down. Everybody who's been good or whatever will be saved and will ascend to heaven. Those all left behind. There's even a whole movie series with Kirk Cameron called Left Behind in books. Will be left behind to basically, feel the wrath of God. You basically be hell on earth.
Okay.
With the locusts and all this and that, and it'll be basically torment. And I think it's supposed to last for like 40 days or something like that. And then it'll be so bad people will try to kill themselves, but it won't work, kind of a thing. Anyway, and so basically all hell will break loose, and the only way you'll be able to buy anything is by you have to bear the mark of the beast. That's what Revelation says. It doesn't say specifically what it is, but it says something about being on the right hand or something like that. And you won't be able to purchase or buy anything unless you have the mark of the beast. And that'll be all driven by the Antichrist. And so people could say that this is an early stage of like the mark of the beast.
Religious fanatics will tie anything back to,
True.
Everybody's entitled to their own beliefs, but that's a little far-fetched.
Some of it I could see it being a good idea, and of course, like if somebody turns up missing or somebody is kidnapped or whatever, yeah, that's great, because like they were showing like in these dogs, like I had a chip. I used to have a bunch of dogs. They were chipped, and the only way these were older chips. One of the the older ones were you had to wear a tag to show that they were chipped, and then you would scan over them and have all their information on the scanner.
Yeah.
But now the new ones out now are all GPS. Now all you have to do is just log on to the website, and it pulls up a map and shows you right where your dog is. It shows like where he is on the map. It also says his name, his address, a phone number to contact the owner, like all of that. That's really cool. So I can see that could be cool too. Like say your child's lost or even you're lost.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You got it.
It's still a little bit intrusive, but I see the benefits, but I also see the skepticism and the potential risk there.
I concur. Okay, number one.
Number one of the top 10 science experiments. Twisted science experiments. All right. Stanford University Prison Experiment is what it's called. 1971, Professor, you're going to think this is fake too, Zimbardo of Stanford University did a mock prison by dividing his class into prisoners and guards. After 6 days, the experiment was shut down due to prisoner abuse. I know this one.
You've heard this one?
Yeah, I've read several things on this one in the past, so I know this one's not the fake one.
Yeah.
That is just an unbelievable study in human psychology. The prison guards, the characters that were playing the prison guards, literally took on the authoritative role and then immediately turned to a abusive role, not just physically but verbally. Having the inmates, or the actors that were playing the inmates, doing like ridiculous things, undressing them, dehumanizing them, humiliating them, just emasculating them, just doing some unbelievable, mental damaging things to these actors.
Yeah.
But they were taking on that authoritative role, and that saying isn't so far off. Is power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. These guys had full control, and that was the bit. One of them ended up, I think, getting hospitalized, and tons of them went through, years of therapy to recover from that whole situation. So yeah, that was an amazing study in human psychology and how, how the roles that we're placed in govern our actions more so than our own moral beliefs. It was just ridiculously crazy.
What else is kind of neat too? This is kind of related. You remember that Planet of the Apes movie that came out, the Mark Wahlberg one?
Yeah.
Okay. And it had anyway, it didn't matter. Well, I was watching behind the scenes of that movie, and they were saying that it was quite fascinating. They even showed video footage of this. Is well, they had all these extras. They had all this monkey makeup on and shit, And there was the different breeds of apes. You had the chimpanzees, and you had the orangutans, and you had, all these different groups. And they said they noticed when they would break for lunch, like all the different groups would sit separately from each other. Like all the orangutans would sit over here, and all the gorillas always sat over here together.
Really?
And they just said it was just interesting. I mean, I saw that and I was like, yeah, and they would show like a little bit of like home video footage of that going on. Just like picnic tables and stuff. And you're like, it's weird, odd. But then I started thinking, well, maybe not. Maybe it's just because that's who they've been hanging out with all day,
Yeah, that's their...
They all went into makeup together. That's all the people they know. But still, I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Interesting segue into, natural selection of familiarity.
Mm-hmm. So that is the top 10 Twisted Science.
All right, let's recap the 10 for me.
We're going to recap
so
them.
I know number 1 is real. I know that because I've done research on that on my own.
All right, we're going to go through, I'm just going to go through them all again one more time for our listeners.
Okay.
Number 10 was gay aversion
The
therapy.
important thing here is one of these is made up by Tach.
Yes,
That's what we're trying to guess.
Yes, one of these I made up, so you have to figure out which one. Number 10, gay aversion therapy.
All right.
Number 9, Chinese POWs.
Okay.
Number 8, head transplant, or you pointed out, body transplant.
Okay.
Number 7, David Reimer. Number 6, Hoffling Hospital Experiments. Number 5, dog head. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Dog head. That's, anyway, number 4, cyborg beetles. Number 3, 21 grams. Number 2, RFID in humans. And number 1, Stanford University prison experiment.
1 is true for sure. The RFID thing seems pretty reasonable to be plausible. The 21 grams thing, I've heard about that in the past as well. So I'm going to not discredit that one as being false or made up. I'm leaning towards 2, Tach. I'm leaning towards either the head body transplant or the dog head. I'm leaning towards those 2. One of those 2 I think is the fake wo. I'm going to go with the Russian story about the severed dog's head and keeping it alive for 29 days. That's the one I'm going with.
Okay, I'm gonna give you this one as a gimme. Okay.
Okay.
I've already told you that. Well, there's YouTube videos of this. Okay.
Understood.
I know you didn't look it up, but
I thought that could have been a deception by you. There's Adam. Look it up. There's YouTube videos. No, man, I don't want to see that nasty shit.
But that one's already skeptics are already saying that that's probably not true.
Yeah, but it's not one you made up.
No, it's not one I made up.
Okay.
So
I got it wrong, huh?
So you got that one wrong. Do you have any other ones that kind of...
The only other one I would say was the body head transplant thing and alive for 2 days or whatever the hell it was.
Gotcha. No, that one's real as well.
Damn.
The one that I made up is about the Chinese POWs.
Really?
Really. So just so everybody out there, during World War II, Chinese did not do horrible tests to Japanese prisoners. They didn't try to see which bled out worse, gunshots.
That was believable though. You sold that one pretty well.
I tried to make something that didn't seem too crazy to.
Tach, I even watched for micro reactions in your face to give it away, or so when you're using the creative part of your mind, you look in different directions.
Creation, man. I write everything out, man. I just read what I write. Like the way my lists work, man. I basically will Google search whatever my topic is, and then I'll just put little quick notes, maybe half-cent notes on what that thing is, and then I'll get 20 of them, and then I'll pick the 10 best, and then I'll research each individual one and write my own paragraphs.
Okay.
So it's all my own writing. Well, there was one I copy and pasted, which was the David Reimer one.
Gotcha.
That's the only one I copy and pasted. That's written from straight out of Wikipedia. All the rest of it is my own writing, just from my own research.
Good top 10, man. That was entertaining.
I appreciate it. And do you have?
I have no teaser. I don't even. I have no clue what I'm going to come up with.
Oh man, that's disappointing.
Yeah, I'll find something good though. I don't let you down. I'll find something really interesting to throw up there.
All right, man. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in to the Twisted 10 this week. Tune in next week when Adam does come up with something.
We're also going to have some guest top 10 hosts in here as well. They're going to bring in their own top 10 lists and give them to me and Tach live. By the way, some new news. Go to our Facebook page. Is it facebook.com/thetwisted10?
That's it.
Cool. Facebook.com/thetwisted10. Give us a like on there. Leave us some comments. Give us some ideas for top 10 lists that you want Tach or myself to create. And we would appreciate it, guys.
All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot. And we will see you. And don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, rate, and review.
All right.
See ya. I thought of. Now there's a twist.
Okay.
In this list is hidden a false one that I made up.
Oh shit. I'm pretty good with science. I consider myself some science. My hobbies include neuroscience and studying how the brain chemistry works, and also astrophysics and astronomy. Those are my hobbies.
I got you, but how are you on fringe science? So
other than watching the show Fringe, not really. I mean, they tie a lot of theoretical physics into Fringe, the show, but no. All right. So hit me.
Are we ready to start this off?
Yeah.
Everything going okay for you this week?
Yeah, dude, I'm doing fine.
Anything exciting happened this week?
So on our other podcast, on Living Podcariously, we had some interesting guests in.
We did.
Yes, that was quite fun of a recording session.
It was different, and what Adam's talking about is we have Living Podcariously. It's our other. It's our men's perspective podcast where we talk about sex, relationships, what have you.
A little bit raw occasionally. It's unfiltered.
Yeah.
So you're going to get men's perspectives from every stretch of the imagination.
Right.
And the girls that came on our show filled in the questions for our segment called the Guyry. So think of a woman's diary, but the guy's version, the Guyry. And that got kind of raw. So that was, yes, that's sitting in the back of my mind right now. Just so the listeners know, we often record first Living Podcariously, then the Twisted 10 in the same night. So it's fresh on our minds.
Yeah. Normally the Guyry segments are about 10 to 15 minutes, but this one ran on. That segment was probably a good 45
yeah,
minutes.
easily.
So, but it was good.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and lift off.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're listening to The Twisted 10, bringing you original and unique host-created top 10 lists, recorded live in world-famous Cocoa Beach, Florida, with hosts Tach Van Sickle and Adam Poston.
All right, and welcome to the Twisted 10, and I am your host, Tach, and sitting across from me is...
Hey, I'm Adam. How are you guys doing tonight? Of course, for us, it's tonight. For them, it could be the middle of the day. They could be listening to this at church, whatever.
And welcome to the Twisted 10. This is the show where we basically come up with a unique top 10 list and just break it down. And we come up with different topics every episode.
And it's always a surprise to the other host. So tonight's is Tach. He's going to have the top 10 list, and I have no clue what it is. We sometimes drop teasers from the last week's episode into the next upcoming week. So,
and the teaser I dropped last week for you was, if you remember,
no, I don't.
It was, oh, Marty!
Yeah, I do. Doc Brown. Yes, I remember that.
Okay, so this one is the top 10 twisted science experiments.
Top 10 twisted science experiments. Like real life science experiments or movie? Because Doc Brown kind of...
Well, he was a mad scientist kind of a thing.
Okay.
So that's kind of what...
Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, that's called Ludovico technique. That's what they called it in the movie anyway.
Ludovico?
Ludovico.
Ludovico. Okay.
Technique, yeah. I don't know if that's a real thing. You know, that's what they called it in the movie. I don't know if it's a real thing. I don't know.
You know, when you start a new job and you have to sit through those safety videos and all that sexual harassment, that's what it feels like to me. But
I kind of like this because the acting is horrible and it's awesome. I was actually watching one the other day on, it was just about, like terrorism and shit, you know? Like,
anti-terrorism stuff?
Yeah, and there was just like, these two guys, like, they were just, oh God, it's like, because I work security at a pretty popular, like, aeronautical company, you know, so, and then there was like this video of this guy who was standing post as a security officer, and this other guy walking up going, hey, so is this what you do all day? You just stand here and just get, yeah, sometimes I do. You know, it was horrible acting, and it was like these scenarios were just ridiculous, and it was hilarious. I loved it. But anyway, so gay version therapy, number one. Okay. Number two, Chinese.
Stop it. Sorry, go ahead. That was insensitive.
Chinese POWs. During World War II, Chinese militants tested on Japanese prisoners to see if knife wounds or gunshot wounds would bleed out faster. Not only tests conducted on which weapon, but also testers would also test on size, height, age, as well as gender and sexual orientation.
So this is the Chinese testing on the Japanese prisoners of war.
And the data was ruled inconclusive.
Oh, we cannot figure it out. We need more testing. Inconclusive.
What other categories can we come up?
We're gonna nail all the bad stereotypes here.
That's terrible.
Inconclusive. Sorry.
It's all right. Moving on.
All right. Number
3.
Eight.
Oh, sorry.
Number 3.
Are we counting down? Yeah, we're counting down.
Counting down. So number 8.
Sorry, 10, 9, 8. Sorry, I had them on here written as 3. Okay. 8. Head transplant. In 1970, Robert White attempted a head transplant between 2 monkeys. The monkey, well, he only took one head from one monkey and the other one died. You know, so just put so there's not 2 monkeys trying to live. So, okay, so the monkey died after 2 days, but it was able to smell, see, hear, and taste after the transplant.
So, question:
Yes.
When the head of the monkey that came over to the new body did the nervous system work past because everything you just described are all sensory perceptions in the head. Did anything work south of the neck, essentially?
I didn't see
Digestion,
that upon the reading. That's
reflexes.
A good question. I don't know the answer to that. I didn't read too terribly deep into it, but those are good questions. I mean, I got like all the senses there, so I just assumed that everything else worked.
That's interesting because even something as simple as non-voluntary stuff, like, well, of course, I guess the heart had to have been pumping, so that meant the nervous system was working at least.
Yeah.
The lungs were working. That's below the neck as well, so that system had to have been working. So yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm sure the thing wasn't exactly swinging from trees.
Yeah, we had 3 girls in studio to hang out with us, and that was a good time.
You know, nobody's ever going to believe us. We have to put pictures up. Oh, we didn't get pictures with them.
Oh, that sucks.
It could have been us just doing voices then. No, it wasn't really. We really did have girls in studio.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
Okay, so you ready to hear about some twisted science experiments?
All right, top 10 twisted science experiments.
Now, this is in no particular order.
And one of them is fake, made up by Tach.
One of them is a fake one that I made up.
All right.
And you, Adam, have to figure out which one at the end, and you guys playing at home can come up with your own thing, and I won't reveal it till the very end.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one...
Fake. Oh, no, that's not when I'm supposed to do it yet? Okay.
No. Okay, the first one is gay aversion therapy. Okay?
Is this something like pray the gay away? Is it you've heard
Kinda.
that? All right.
Well, it's in the 1940s, homosexuality was considered a mental disorder until it was proven otherwise in 1973.
Wow, it took them 33 years to figure that out?
Yeah, well, longer than that, really, because, homosexuality has been around forever.
It's always been a sin in some religion's eyes.
Right. And earlier version techniques were used, such as showing slides with random gay porn and inducing shocks to the patient, sometimes to their genitals.
Electroshock therapy for looking at gay porn.
So think of like Ludovico technique from what movie?
1970. No.
It's not. Don't worry about the year, just the movie.
Oh.
This isn't taken from the movie, but
Is that the movie where they were holding the guy's eyes open?
yeah, Clockwork Orange.